Hello to all. I'm going to go into some information on this Sabbath in reference to following the commandments. Is it okay to work on the Sabbath day? And the best way I can, explain this, to people that ask, it's okay to work on the Sabbath if, quote unquote, if you have to. Um, if you are in retail, a gas attendant, um, you are in the lawn and garden field. Certain things have to be, in this slave Western world we live in. You may have to work on the Sabbath day. If you don't, you're going to lose your job. Um, it is not smart to lose your finances if you don't have to. Like if you can just go ahead and, in my field, I'm automatically off on the weekends. But I just wanted to put this out because a lot of people have just came into the understanding and the truth of the Bible and who they are. And I need, a lot of them, when people first get in, they don't fully understand, and I don't want them to strong arm into something that can cause them to be, you know, burdened down. So I have to, put it out here. We got to understand that we are under grace. Like I said again, if you have to work on a Sabbath day, you can go to work. It's not a sin. I'm gonna go to First John. Let me show you something in the scriptures. Of course, it is a sin to break the Sabbath, but this is the reason why Christ died for our sins, and this is the reason why you have to accept Christ. Let me show you something. Let's go to First John. First John chapter 2, verse 1. It says, "My little children, these things write I unto you, that ye sin not." So, of course, to work on the Sabbath is a sin. But it says, "And if any man sin, we have an advocate with the Father, Christ the righteous." So if you do commit sin, which means if you do break the Sabbath, the Most High have an advocate with you, not to say that it's okay to just break it blatantly. But if you don't have a choice, you know what I'm saying? If your source of income is on that Sabbath, don't feel bad if you have to work. The Most High understands your heart. Now, I'm going to say this, though. There are things that you can do. You can write to your employer um, a letter based on, you can say that, based on your faith, that I can't no longer work on the Sabbath. Now, what's going to happen is they're eventually going to have they're going to find some type of an excuse to get rid of you. All right. Or they're going to try to sabotage something and say that you did something wrong or things of that nature. And that's cool if you are okay with that. If you can make it without finances, then hey, more power to you. That's a blessing. But a lot of people in the earth on a regular basis need to work. And if their job requires them to be there, remember, you got to understand job. Just over broke. You're a slave. We are in America. We're scattered throughout these four corners of this world based on bondage. So there are times during bondage, when Joseph was under bondage, there were things that he did. He looked like an Egyptian. Okay. You have to realize that once you are scattered under bondage based on curses, certain things you're going to break. That's the reason why this is written. It says, "My little children, these things write I unto you, that ye sin not. And if any man sin, we have an advocate with the Father, Christ the right." That's why Satan was so angry at Christ when he took the sting out of death. Because now, if we do break the laws unknowingly or based on something that we have to do, all right, we have grace period. We have an advocate. And see, that's what Satan don't like. And the minions, of course, understands that. So what they try to do is they try to base you getting paid on a Friday, knowing that Friday night is the first part of the Sabbath, because evening and the morning is the first day. So evening is the end of the actual day. The nighttime is the beginning of another day. So so-called Friday night is really Saturday, okay, or Sabbath. That's the true understanding. Now, let's go to Luke chapter 13. Luke chapter 13. And I'm going to start at the 13th verse. Matter of fact, I'm going to start at the 14th verse. Luke chapter 13, verse 14, it says, "And the ruler of the synagogue answered with indignation, because that Christ had healed on the Sabbath day, and said unto the people, There are 6 days in which men ought to work. In them therefore come and be healed, and not on the Sabbath day. The Lord answered him and said, Thou hypocrite, doeth not each one of you on the Sabbath loose his ox or his ass from the stall, and lead him away to be watering? And ought not his woman, being a daughter of Abraham, whom Satan hath bound low these 18 years, be loose from this bond to the Sabbath day? And when he had said these things, all his adversaries were ashamed, and all the people rejoiced for all the glorious things that were done by him." So they were ashamed because they were trying to push Sabbath to heal someone, or when you go to the scriptures where Christ and the disciples was plucking corn because they were hungry. Of course, you can do good works on the Sabbath day. And let me make it very clear. If you are living with people and they are dependent on your means of income, and then all of a sudden you get into the truth and say, well, I don't want to work anymore on the Sabbath, and they are used to having your income help out with bills or things of that nature, and then you say, no, I don't want to work, you're going to put a burden on that person. Okay, the good work is to continue to help out. If you're working to help someone out on bills so they won't get thrown out of their house, or so their payments can be up to date on certain things, then you are making the life of others, the means of living, peaceful. Okay, so you got to make sure that you got to really look at the whole picture of what you're doing. Okay, like for an example, if you have a roommate, your roommate can pay all the bills, but there's a reason why you have a roommate, and you're working on the Sabbath, and that's the way you're making money. And then all of a sudden you say, well, roommate, I just got into the truth of the understanding of the Bible. I'm going to keep the commandments. I'm not going to work on the Sabbath. Therefore, I don't know how I'm going to help you out with your bills. And you know that your roommate is not going to throw you out because they love you or whatever, but they needed your income to help out, and you're stressing that person. So the good work is to continue to work based on you having to work on that Sabbath. I mean, if you can, like I said before, if you can find another job somewhere, make sure you set that up first before you just strong arm and say, I'm gonna just follow the law and just lay down not working on a Sabbath day. That's not wise thinking. Okay, it's not wise, because you're going to burden someone else. Okay, you're going to burden someone else. The good work that Christ was doing for his disciples and this young lady in the Bible was to say that you can do good works for others. Okay, it's good work for others. If you got to, like I said again, if you got to work on the Sabbath and it's helping out others, then do it. Okay, now if you just by yourself and you got your own place and you just want to stop working, then hey, that's on you. You can go into a homeless shelter somewhere, if that's what you want to do. Of course, that's simple, but I'm just making an example, because if you're living with someone and they need your means of income, then continue to doing that good work to help them out. Okay, you're not working on the Sabbath to go shopping. You're not working on the Sabbath to go buy some rims for your car or whatever, you know, whatever's clever. So you just go on to work to help. If you're helping out others and they need your income again, you can continue to work. You can do good works on the Sabbath day. That's all I'm making. That's the point I'm making. That's what Christ was saying when he was plucking the corn for his disciples. They try to come at, see, that's that Pharisaical spirit. You don't want the Pharisaical spirit to come on you, because then you'll find out when you start reading in the books of the New Testament, you can be like, well, look, why should I believe in Christ? That's the reason why. If any man sin, you have an advocate. If you have to work on the Sabbath, you have an advocate. If, I can't make that if you have to. Now, like I said again, I'm going to keep saying it. It's okay to tell your job, look, I'm following the law. I can't work on the Sabbath no more. They were like, okay, fine. Turn in your badge. Okay, or, eventually they just going to try to get rid of you. Been here, done that. I already know. So, like I said, quick video based on some inquiries. Like I said, I've had these questions, and I talked to a few people here and there, and I thought I would just kind of like make it clear. If you have to work on the Sabbath, do your thing. Okay, the Most High love you. He understands. We in these nations. Matter of fact, let me go to Deuteronomy before I cut this. Let me go to Deuteronomy 28, so we can understand what we're under right now. See, when you're under bondage, which you are, and I don't understand why a so-called black man or woman think they got millions of dollars just because they got millions of dollars. Not one of those $1 million had their face on it. Not one in this country. So you're still under the slavery. Don't think you're not just because you got money, paper. That's paper. Don't cash your riches on the earth. Your riches are in heaven. All right. People think, how people get all caught up in the money. Yeah, I got it like that. No, you don't. You're still a slave. Don't even go there. Now, I'm going to start at the 64th verse, 28, Deuteronomy 28, verse 64. It says, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth, even unto the other, and there shall serve other gods which neither thy nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease. So you're not going to find any ease in these nations. So if you're not finding any ease, of course, when you want to follow the law, it's going to be tough. It's going to be to the point where you're going to feel uncomfortable. But you're going to have to do your best based on being under their jurisdiction or so-called Western laws. Okay, you don't just, like, as I made an example in another video called "You Shall Find No Ease." You got to realize, even when Joseph was in Egypt, there were times, of course, he looked just like an Egyptian. He wore the same type of garments and everything. He didn't say, "Look, I'm a Hebrew. I'm not going to wear this," because that's just, we were always the type of people that would just fit in. But the Most High understood our hearts. If it's based on you needing to work or whatever, you shall find no ease. And among these nations you shall find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. So that means you're going to work continually on the Sabbath or any other day. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart. So that's why you're trembling. You're going to think, oh man, I'm going to lose. Oh man, I want to do this, but I just feel like you don't have any strength, or you're trembling. And failing of eyes and sorrow of mind. So you feel sorrowful. Your kids your kids are separated, thrown in captivity, and that's what happens to our people. All right. So, of course, there are a plethora of the curses that happen to us, but I just want to break that down based on the Sabbath. If you gotta work, go to work. This is my life, and I'll be doing this for the rest of it. Shalom.